United side that have made the trip down to London this evening. No Cristiano Ronaldo in the starting lineup. That's the headline this evening. They're starting this evening with David De Gea in goal, Alex Telles, Eric Bailly, Victor Lindelof and Aaron Wan-bissaka as the back four. A midfield trio of Nemanja Matic, Fred and Scott McTominay. A physical, aggressive and defensive midfield there. Bruno Fernandes will try and play the free role in that midfield, with Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford entrusted as the men to put this Chelsea back line under as much pressure as they can physically muster. On the bench tonight for Manchester United, Mason Greenwood, Cristiano Ronaldo. Michael Carrick's already addressed the chat, the pre-match discussion about his absence from the starting 11, saying that he's already spoken to Ronaldo in the week. They know the threat that Chelsea posed and that, well, it looks like Manchester United will just try and keep it tight for 60 to 70 minutes and then hopefully unleash Ronaldo sometime in this late on to try and nick a goal. Also on the bench, Anthony Martial, Diogo Dalot, Jesse Lingard, Donny van der Beek, Dean Henderson, the goalkeeper, and the advancing in years, Wan-bissaka, who's so evergreen still. But for the home side this evening, they've really impressed so far in the Premier League this season. In the three teams of Chelsea, Man United and Liverpool, who are really challenging for the title, it's Chelsea that have made the early running. It's deservedly top of the league, having won the Champions League last season. And they look incredibly strong and intimidating for any side, let alone Manchester United sitting in 10th in the Premier League this season. They're starting with Mendy in goal, a back three of Trevor Chalobah, Thiago Silva and Antonio Rudiger. Midfield four of Reece James and Marcus Alonso, the wing-backs. Loftus-Cheek and Jorginho in the centre midfield. Hudson-Odoi and Hakim Ziyech will just sit back just behind Timo Werner, who leads the line tonight. But there is good news for Chelsea as well. Andreas Christensen's on the bench, Kai Havertz, Cesar Azpilicueta, and of course their impressive striker Romelu Lukaku is back, fit enough to make the bench tonight. Mason Mount's also on the bench, Ross Barkley, Christian Pulisic, the American, Kepa Arrizabalaga, the substitute goalkeeper this evening, and Saul Niguez rounds off the Chelsea squad this evening. Thiago Silva, of course, advancing in years too, just like his opposite number, Juan Mata, but he does start this evening for Chelsea. It's going to be a difficult evening, probably, for Manchester United up against this enterprising and free-flowing attacking force of Chelsea. Reece James has obviously made a real name for himself in recent weeks, people referring to him as the best right-back in the world. Chelsea will be playing in their traditional home shirts of blue shirts, blue socks, blue shorts rather, and white socks. Man United in their red shirts, white shorts and black socks. We're just a few moments away from kickoff. The referee Anthony Taylor just making his final pre-match check, struts across to his fourth official. He's counting up the players, making sure everything's in order. And all 22 players once again take a knee as we continue to strive towards a more equal society. Timo Werner will stand over this ball and get it underway with a pass back to Jorginho. Shuffled out to the right-hand side of the defence for Chalobah. Then out wide to Reece James. They're playing from right to left, Chelsea. As we look at things, long ball forward attempted for Timo Werner. He's lost out to Lindelof. It's been prodded forward by Manchester United. Silva picks up the ball deep in Chelsea's half. Out wide to Chalobah, tries to force it forward. Marcus Rashford's there to block his pass. And it's out of play for a throw-in taken by Reece James into the feet of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He returns the ball to James, and James has gone all the way back to Mendy. Dropping deep is Rudiger onto the corner of his box. He's going to force this wide to the left-hand side to Marcus Alonso. Back to Rudiger, has to track into his own box. Switch of play out to the right-hand side. Reece James chests it down to Chalobah. Into the feet of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Chelsea still midway through their own half at the moment. Driving forward is James. He goes inside to Loftus-Cheek. He's run into Fred and Marcus Rashford, the two combining to regain possession for Man United, but it was only a brief spell in possession of the ball with a minute on the clock. It's been lost, and Rudiger pumps it forward looking for Callum Hudson-Odoi. It's won by Lindelof, only as far as Jorginho in the midfield. Ziyech will step in to steer this back to Rudiger for Chelsea. Into the feet of Thiago Silva, just to his right-hand side, and then back to Rudiger, and then back to Silva once again. He's going to shuffle this out to the right-hand side where Reece James has just dropped from his attacking position into a more orthodox fullback area. Back to Chalobah. He steers that to the goalkeeper, Mendy. Into the feet of Reece James on the corner of the 6-yard box. Out to the left-hand side. It's Rudiger who will carry this and drive forward on one of his characteristic marauding runs forward. It's Werner tries to find Hudson-Odoi. His touch is a little loose, allows Lindelof the chance to get this clear out for a throw-in down the left-hand side for Chelsea. So they're missing Ben Chilwell after his awful injury. It's Marcos Alonso that's deputising. He took the throw-in. Hudson-Odoi's got the ball now in a crossing position now on the left-hand side of the Man United box. Drifts inside into looking for the feet of Ziyech. He's got it and turned and got the shot away, deflected off Lindelof, but De Gea can hold on. Early chance for Chelsea. So they've made a bright start. Man United look to be trying to press them and harry them as high as possible. They managed to play their way forward and fashion a scoring opportunity with just 2.5 minutes on the clock, and David De Gea, well, didn't have to do too much to save that. So Chelsea conspiring to play their way into a bit of trouble here. Chalobah's nod back to Mendy. Almost allowed Rashford in for a free shot at goal, but Mendy was there. Collects the ball and then bowls it back to Chalobah. Forward ball to James. He returns the ball to Chalobah. Across the back line, inside the D. There's Thiago Silva. He'll casually stroll away from his box and then play one out to the left-hand side and the left-hand inside channel. Rudiger looked forward. He's already shouting at the players in front of him. He steers the ball back to Silva. Long ball from Silva toward Marcos Alonso. Here's Hudson-Odoi in behind. Hudson-Odoi, and he's missed the chance. Can't believe it. On the corner of the 6-yard line, it was David De Gea's save. A really fantastic one from the Spaniard. All kinds of trouble already for the Man United back line. Aaron Wan-Bissaka threw a leg at it, didn't get anywhere near it. Lindelof too tried to block the ball from finding Hudson-Odoi's feet. It was a fine save from David De Gea. Thrust the leg out, just deflected it wide for a corner kick taken by Marcos Alonso now in towards the near post. Nodded away by Rashford. He looks like his Teles looks like he's gone down on the deck. He's not happy. His back is clutching at his lower back. It's Anthony Taylor's waving the physio on. It's Bruno Fernandes, actually. Apologies. Wearing the captain's armband this evening is Fernandes. He's being helped to his feet by Tony Rudiger and his goalkeeper David De Gea. The physio's come on to just check on him. Have a look at how this happened. It was Rudiger. He was jumping with Teles. His momentum carried him into the back of Bruno Fernandes. The Portuguese was in the air at the time and just knocked him off balance. It landed awkwardly and just tweaked his back on the way down. And he had to be ushered off the field of play as the physio did come steaming on. He did get up to his feet of his own volition. But this will be a drop ball. Anthony Taylor's just chatting to Fred and Reece James, who are both standing next to him. Anthony Taylor with the ball in his hand drops it back to Reece James. He'll play this back to his own player, Chalobah. The ball given back to Chelsea by the referee, and rightly so. They were in possession when he stopped play. Thiago Silva on the halfway line, on the centre spot now. Tries to shift it out to the right-hand side. That ball is loose, though, picked up by Manchester United. Fred's got it in the midfield. Goes down into the challenge of Ziyech. And that will be a foul and a free kick for Man United. Left hand inside channel, 10 yards inside their half. Thomas Tuchel takes the opportunity to shake his head in disappointment and have a sip of his water on the bench underneath our position. It's Nemanja Matic that will take the free kick. McTominay drops deep to try and collect it from him. Instead, he's going to steer this back to Eric Bailly. Across the back line to Lindelof. Forward ball down the line. Firmly hit for Sancho. Can't keep control of the ball, though, the England international. And it's Marcos Alonso to take the throw. Drops this off to Rudiger in his own half. Inside to Thiago Silva. He comes under pressure from Rashford. Man United throwing the bodies forward. Chalobah beats the press of Fred. Goes forward to Loftus-Cheek. Out wide to Reece James. Back to Chalobah. And then inside to Thiago Silva, who'll stride through his half towards the halfway line. Out to the left-hand side for Tony Rudiger. Clips the ball forward, looking for the run of Timo Werner. Hand on the back of Lindelof. Referee blows the whistle. That'll be a foul. No need for the German there to put his hand on the Swede. Puffs his cheek out, does Timo Werner. Not too sure about that. Thought Lindelof made a lot of that. just enough to put him off balance and saw him tumble to the turf. And the free kick will be taken by the goalkeeper. It's about 3 yards into the area on the left-hand side. He's tried to switch play, but in stepped Chalobah to cut it out of the path of Rashford. Chelsea regain possession immediately. It's with Thiago Silva now. He'll step forward a couple of times. Looks for the square ball back to Rudiger. Sancho went to press, so he went to the right-hand side instead to Reece James. It's a forward ball from James into Ziyech. It's cut out by Telles down the left-hand side. He tried to play James back in, but the pass was overhit and it's out of play now. Michael Carrick up off his seat for the first time, up to the edge of his technical area. Cristiano Ronaldo, an interesting onlooker. Interested onlooker behind him. So the goal kick will be taken now by David De Gea. He spotted the ball up in the central area on his 6-yard line. Had all in green this evening. But Manchester United #1 launches this out to the left-hand side. It's one in the air by Ziyech. Nodded forward. Lindelof releases the ball, but only finds Ziyech once again. He tried to find Werner, did Ziyech, and then Lindelof stepped in. Once again, though, Chelsea have recovered the ball high in Manchester United's half, just outside the area. And Nemanja Matic has given away a free kick. It's a foul in the dangerous area. He lost the ball to Ziyech and then hauled him to the ground. You have to say Ziyech did make the most of that, but Nemanja Matic made the referee's decision up for him when he put his hands on Ziyech in the first place. It's going to be Reece James to take this. It's level with the side of the penalty area. It's around 30 yards from goal. Be one man in the wall. That looks to be Jadon Sancho. Plenty of options for Reece James to find in the box. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is there, towering above Scott McTominay, as is Trevor Chalobah. Thiago Silva's at the near post. Anthony Taylor just dealing with a bit of pushing and shoving before he backs out of the 18-yard box. In comes the free kick towards the back post, aimed for Rudiger. Nodded away by Wan-Bissaka. Werner gets the shot away. Wan-Bissaka with the block once again. Clears the ball. It's Jorginho to recover the ball for Chelsea. He's wearing the captain's armband for the Blues this evening. Steers it back and Chelsea have regained possession here through Ziyech on the halfway line. Out to the left-hand side. Callum Hudson-Odoi's in acres of space. Checks inside, finds Ziyech. Goes back out wide to the left-hand side. Werner's in a crossing position. He's going to run past Wan-Bissaka. Tries to get the ball across. But the spidery legs of Wan-Bissaka, the former Crystal Palace fullback, slides across. Blocks it out for another corner to Chelsea. Marcus Alonso trots across to take this left-footed. This will swing away from the goalkeeper. Callum Hudson-Odoi has just come to the edge of the 18-yard box to offer a short option. It's played into the box by Marcus Alonso. Up goes the header from Rudiger. It's not much of a good connection though, and David De Gea can calmly just trot out to the right-hand side of his 6-yard box and pick this up. He's sprinted to the edge of his 18-yard area though, looking for the pass and can only find one out to the left-hand side. Throw into the feet of Telles. Inside to Nemanja Matic, who came to show for him. Forward ball to McTominay, only 5 yards though, trying to inch their way out of the half. Telles comes under pressure from Reece James, really harassing the Brazilian. And it's all the way back to Eric Bailly. Shifted out to the right-hand side for Wan-Bissaka. He's now faced up to by Callum Hudson-Odoi. Chelsea have won the ball back, but through foul play, once again, Hakim Ziyech just took down Scott McTominay, clipped his heels. Jorginho pounced on the loose ball, but it was all in vain. The referee blew the whistle and we'll play on. Forward ball to Fred, but he's lost the ball down the right-hand side for Chelsea. They'll have the throw. Possession regained by the home side. Two huge names in these two starting lineups, two squads in Cristiano Ronaldo and Romelu Lukaku. Both of them on the bench this evening. Throw-in taken by James into Loftus-Cheek. Tried to return it to Loftus-Cheek, but Man United stepped in to win the ball back, and once again Ziyech, clumsy in the tackle, takes down Matic. And Man United have a free kick. The left-hand inside channel, just next to the halfway line. Played quickly by Fred, back to Matic, short free kick taken. Back out to Fred, out to the left-hand side, looking for Telles. In steps Reece James, prods it out of play. Throw in inside the Chelsea half. Manchester United hoping to make the most of this possession. Not going to have much of it inside Chelsea's side of the field. Thrown into Rashford. He tries to return the ball to Telles, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek stepped in, made it safe for Chelsea, won the throw-in for his side, which will be taken by Reece James now. It's going to be tossed in, is it? It's taking a bit of time here. Reece James, he's just assessing his options. Goes back to Trevor Chalobah. He sends that back to Mendy, almost out of play for a corner kick, but Mendy keeps it in play, clips it out to the left. Marcus Alonso nods into the midfield. Hudson-Odoi can't keep it down. Ball forward into the back. It's Werner that went chasing, almost got there, but David De Gea was rapid off his line. He came to 30 yards from his goal to clear the ball back upfield. He'd hesitated just for a moment. Timo Werner would have been one-on-one. Chelsea have taken the resulting throw and into Jorginho, trying to go inside to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. His pass forward to Ziyech is picked off by McTominay. Man United will play through Matic now, forward to Telles down the left-hand side. It's along the touchline. Up go the arms from Chelsea, appealing for the throw-in. Referee allows play to go on. Anthony Taylor believed that ball didn't go out of play. Eric Bailly with the ball at the back for Man United. Forward ball down the right-hand touchline for Wan-Bissaka. Tries to exchange a ball with Sancho. The return pass from Sancho, though, is not a good one. And Chelsea have recovered it here through Callum Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi still breaking at pace, but in sliding is Fred. Wins the ball back from Hudson-Odoi. Chelsea will try and play forward. Lovely intricate passing in midfield from United. Sancho steers it out to the left-hand side for Telles. His ball forward, though. That doesn't match the play of his colleagues, and it's picked up by Reece James. Chelsea will take the sting out of it now through Trevor Chalobah into the midfield, into the middle of the defence for Thiago Silva. Out to the left to Rudiger. Back inside to Silva. He'll inch his way forward. Midway through his own half at the moment. There's the out ball to the right-hand side to Reece James. Looked for a ball forward. Couldn't find one. Had to roll it back and give it back to Trevor Chalobah. He's given it back to Mendy. Forward to the edge of the area for Thiago Silva. Then clipped out to the right-hand side once again for Chalobah. Ball forward to James. Turns it inside. Lovely passing here for Chelsea. Making their way forward. Loftus-Cheek out to the left. Rudiger darting forward down the left-hand side. Made a lot of ground, has the centre-half. Out to the left for Alonso. Crossing position, gets the ball into the box. It's all the way to the back post. Telles gets a boot on it, loops it up. James takes it down on the corner of the 18-yard box. Forward ball to Ziyech. He's going to try and turn and find a way to cross. Turns it back to Reece James. Drops this off to Chalobah, who strode forward from defence into Thiago Silva. All of Chelsea's outfield players inside Manchester United's half and some. They're into the final third here with Reece James on the right-hand side. Ball down the line for Ziyech. He'll try and keep this in play. Does so. Turns and runs at Eric Bailly. He's squared him up. He's looking for an opportunity to get the ball in the box, but Bailly is strong. The Cote d'Ivoire international does well to make sure. It's not cleared, though, by Man United. Jorginho's recovered the ball for Chelsea on the edge of the area. See to Chalobah. Thiago Silva on the right-hand side of the centre circle. Ball forward down the right-hand side. Here's that Ziyech on his left foot. Steers it inside to Loftus-Cheek. Shuffled across the midfield to Rudiger. Out wide in a crossing position is Marcus Alonso. Poked down the line for Hudson-Odoi. Back to Alonso. Alonso drifts inside, but spots the flag. Chips the ball up into his hands. We'll give this back to Manchester United. They'll have a free kick down there. Right-hand side, just to the right of the 18-yard box. Marcus Alonso with a grimace. He's annoyed about that. I think it was Alonso in the end that was offside. Just allowed play to continue. The assistant referees, of course, leave it much longer before they put the flag up. And David De Gea will take the resulting free kick from just out to the right-hand side of his 18-yard box. So, going to send this one long. Down the right-hand channel. It's looking for Jadon Sancho, wrestled by Alonso. Rudiger tries to loop it clear, up rather than out, into the head of McTominay. Thiago Silva collects the header from McTominay, does launch it long. He was trying to get it away from anything. Timo Werner harried Matic, made him think again about his intentions there. Callum Hudson-Odoi's been penalised for, well, not very much on Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It's a free kick just in front of Michael Carrick. He put his arms up in appeal. Not really sure what that was about. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka's had to put his gloves back on. Perhaps Hudson-Odoi was just had a bit of a hold of the Man United fullback. A bit too much there. He's taken the free kick back to Lindelof. Timo Werner comes across to just cause him a few problems. Inside to David De Gea. Out to the left-hand side of the box is Eric Bailly. Inside is Matic, who's just dropped deep to collect the ball from his defenders. Lovely ball forward to the left-hand side to the halfway line is Marcus Rashford. He lays it off to Fred. He's run that out of play, though. And the flag looks like it's gone up too. Anthony Taylor has his arm in the air. The free kick has been taken. It was Marcus Rashford to come to collect from Matic's ball. And Chelsea would continue here through Thiago Silva. Backing away towards his own box. Does poke one out to the left-hand side for Rudiger. Forward ball for Marcus Alonso. Inside to Jorginho. Tries to find a way forward to Hudson-Odoi. Cut out by McTominay. Aaron Wan-Bissaka then tries to force it forward. It's blocked away by Marcus Alonso. Another throw into United on the halfway line. Comes into Matic. He manages to dodge the tackles, get one forward, but cut out by Marcus Alonso. Poked back to Rudiger once again. Into the feet of Mendy. Turns away to his right. Finds the ball to Chalobah. Return to Mendy. Under pressure from Fernandes. First time ball released long. So nodded to the left by Matic, and Marcus Alonso's pounced on this. He's going to drive through the left-hand side. Goes out to his left. It's Callum Hudson-Odoi running at Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Dropped off to Ziyech. Ziyech with a left-footed strike towards the far post. Looped over the bar. Was curling from left to right. And David De Gea, well, the moment he saw the ball struck, wasn't worried. But Hakim Ziyech popped up in acres of space on the edge of the box. Victor Lindelof had been tracking him. Ziyech just stopped his run. Lindelof didn't. And from that distance, Ziyech, well, he can really test goalkeepers. Does have it in his locker. He'll be disappointed with his effort this time. Man United are carrying the ball out from the right, down with McTominay. So a good sliding tackle from Jorginho to win the ball back for Chelsea. Rudiger makes it safe, and it's back with Jorginho in the central area. Out to the left-hand side, it's Callum Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi running. Wan-Bissaka goes wide to Marcus Alonso. He's returned the ball to Hudson-Odoi, though. Back to the defenders. Rudiger. Left hand inside channel, just inside the Man United half. Forward ball to Jorginho. Returns that to Silva in the centre circle. Then out wide to Trevor Chalobah, who goes ranging forward. And out wide to Reece James, level with the edge of the 18-yard box. Back to Chalobah, inside to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Gives that back to Thiago Silva inside the centre circle. Then to the left is Rudiger. Slows down play, does the German, before shifting the ball across the field from left to right into the feet of Chalobah. So Ziyech has drifted out there, collects the ball from Chalobah. Forward ball from him to Reece James, and then back to Ziyech. Went to go down the line, cut back though, instead steers it back to Chalobah into the feet of Silva inside the centre circle still. Out to the left is Rudiger. Ball poked forward for Hudson-Odoi into Jorginho. Ball down the line for Marcus Alonso. Can't make it safe. Had a bit of space up behind Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Is recovered well, has the number 29 for Manchester United. Clears it out to the right. Bruno Fernandes will try and get this forward to Sancho. He goes down under the challenge of Rudiger. And that's a foul. That'll be a free kick to Man United. Level with the edge of their 18-yard box on the right-hand side. Almost 20 minutes gone. Still no goals. Chelsea, though, with all the going so far, they've been knocking on the door. David De Gea has been called into action already. Had to make an important save from Callum Hudson-Odoi. Poked out a big boot. As they're setting up for the free kick here. Aaron Wan-Bissaka trots away from it. Happy to just let this be played forward, but Chelsea have picked this up very easily. It's Thiago Silva to the left of his own box. Goes inside to Mendy. He's in the 6-yard area. Forward ball to Jorginho. So going to go to Marcus Alonso though. Now, lovely ball down the line. Jorginho collects it. So back to Alonso from Hudson-Odoi. He fires it all the way back to Silva. Then out wide to the right-hand side for Chalobah. Up to the halfway line now. Passes it over it. Reece James under. Off the ball goes Hakim Ziyech down to the ground. Under the tackle of Telles. Referee's happy to allow play to continue. He was right in front of the assistant. Man United are going to break at pace here with Fernandes. Lovely ball out to the right-hand side for Sancho. Back to Fernandes. Fernandes takes the shot, but he's dragged that wide. Behind right of Edouard Mendy's upright. That'll be a goal kick to Manchester United. It's been every player in Man United's half have been dropping so deep. They're just trying to hit Chelsea on the counter, but the ball out has never been, or hasn't been quality enough so far. Goal kick has been taken short despite a high press from United. And they've won this inside the Chelsea half with McTominay. So plays this back to Bailly on the halfway line, out to the left-hand side for Telles. Closed down by James, back to Bailly. Evades the tackle of Ziyech, but he can't get past Reece James, and it's into the feet of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek almost loses out to Bailly. Out to the right-hand side from Jorginho. Flicked on by Ziyech into the path of Reece James. James with the ball across the box. Aaron Wan-Bissaka gets a flick on it. It cannons off the shins of Marcos Alonso. Can't keep it in play. And, well, Wan-Bissaka's difficult existence at Manchester United goes on. He had two men to mark there. Lindelof didn't help him out with Werner. And in the end, it almost dropped to Alonso. Wan-Bissaka looked like he got a flick on it, but just jumped and got nothing on it in the end. Marcos Alonso will be disappointed he didn't take that down and get a strike away at goal. Victor Lindelof gets the goal kick from his goalkeeper De Gea. Lovely footwork there from Wan-Bissaka to evade the challenge of Hudson-Odoi. Finds the ball forward to McTominay, but he's lost out to Jorginho. He's got the ball deep in Chelsea's half now. Goes back 5 yards to Chalobah, across the back line to Silva. Into the feet of Rudiger now. Back inside to Silva. Thiago Silva slowing things down, puts his foot on the ball. Happy to go back to his German colleague to his left, Rudiger. Forward ball to Alonso. Alonso comes under pressure from Wan-Bissaka, and Sancho forces the mistake. Out of play for a Man United throw-in down their right-hand side, much to Thomas Tuchel's frustration. So Wan-Bissaka gets the ball from the throw-in. There were three Chelsea bodies throwing themselves, trying to intercept his pass across the back line to Bailly. Did well though, Bailly. Played it forward to Fred. Hit the ball over the midfield. It's dropped here for Fernandes. Nodded back from Silva. Steps in though to deny Fernandes. Jorginho shuffles the ball from right to left to beat the challenge of Fred. Ruben Loftus-Cheek goes bursting over the halfway line for Chelsea. Out to the left-hand side for Hudson-Odoi. Running at Wan-Bissaka. Back inside to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. The two former colleagues at Crystal Palace, of course. It's a lovely bit of football, though, from Reece James as Fernandes tried to break for Manchester United. Rather runs into the burly figure of Nemanja Matic, but Chelsea maintain possession through Ruben Loftus-Cheek, driving at a central area towards the edge of the box. Out wide to Hudson-Odoi in a crossing area. Kick towards the back post. There's Werner, gets a head on it. Flicks it beyond the far post, out for a goal kick for David De Gea to take. The possession is all Chelsea's. It's not been fluid. They haven't been at their fluent best yet. But they've had 70% of the ball. Tried to find the net 5 times, but just one of those. 2 of those rather have been on target. And Man United have yet to really test Edouard Mendy. Bruno Fernandes' poor shot earlier, the only shot they've had so far, and Alonso for Chelsea once again wins the ball high up the field for Chelsea. It's a loose play from Man United. It's been back with the Chelsea back line through Chalobah. Steered back to Silva from Loftus-Cheek. Midway through their half, on the right-hand side of a central area is Chalobah. Goes wide to the right-hand side for Reece James. It's just inside the Man United half. Goes back to Chalobah. Back inside to Thiago Silva. Fernandes is the furthest man forward for United. Jorginho receives the ball. So back to him from Reece James. Clipped out to the right-hand side. Ziyech is in a lot of space. Won't go with his right foot though. Tries to cut back onto his left. Reece James picks up the second ball. Flashes one across the 6-yard box. But nobody gambled for Chelsea. It's out of play for another goal kick to Manchester United. It was a lovely spot from Jorginho to see Ziyech in acres of space. Tried to force his way past Telles. But there was a kind deflection from Telles into the path of Reece James. And nobody in the box for Chelsea was anticipating the delivery. David De Gea has spotted the ball up already on his 6-yard line. So taking his time over this. Will go short out to the right-hand corner of his box to Lindelof. He paused as he took a touch, as he saw what Werner was doing. Does try and find a ball forward to Sancho. Easily cut out by Alonso. Feeds Ruben Loftus-Cheek, drifting from left to right in the central area. Feeds Reece James, now dropped off to Chalobah. In his own half is Silva, but only just 2 or 3 feet into the Chelsea half of the field. And forward to Rudiger on the left-hand side, into the feet of Alonso. Timo Werner slips as he receives the pass, but maintains possession, the little German. The sliding tackle from Nemanja Matic to win the ball back for Man United. Timo Werner was sure he should have got a free kick for that, but Anthony Taylor allows play to continue. Prodded forward by Chelsea, nodded away by Bailly. That's a heavy challenge from Reece James. Given away a free kick he has. It was Alex Telles went down rather dramatically under the challenge. At first glance, it looked like he might have caught him quite high, but it looked like it shouldn't be too bad in the end. It wasn't much of anything, really. Reece James just bumped into the back of Alex Telles. He's gone gripping at his ankle. Maybe Reece James caught him with the studs, but didn't look to be that way in the end. Sporting gesture from James as he hauls Alex Telles up to his feet. Telles is not really in that kind of mood. Takes the help up to his feet, but is happy to fire some verbals back at the Chelsea wing-back. It's been a long time since, well, they haven't conceded many, Chelsea. Matej Vizca's equaliser for Burnley. The only goal that Chelsea have conceded in their last 450 minutes. United's attackers, they've got their work cut out. David De Gea has played the ball short to Lindelof on the right-hand side. Tries to beat the challenge of Timo Werner. Has to turn back to the goalkeeper. He launches one down the right-hand inside channel. He was looking for Sancho. Marcos Alonso once again was there. He's winning everything in front of Sancho. Is Alonso takes the throw in as well. Back to Rudiger. Forward ball from Rudiger back into the feet of Alonso. Left-footed ball attempted down the line. McTominay cuts it out of play for a throw-in front of Thomas Tuchel in his grey puffer jacket. Thrown in from Alonso to Werner. McTominay's there once again, poking the ball out of play. For Man United, it'll be another Chelsea throw. Alonso with the ball in his hands, looking for his options. Not much movement from Chelsea as yet. Jorginho, though, does come and show for him. Jorginho trying to turn away from McTominay. McTominay's collapsed in a heap. 4 players all battling for the ball. All getting a bit scrappy there on the deck. Jorginho and McTominay lying on the ground. Here come Man United. Rudiger went colliding into Nemanja Matic. Bit of a tangle there as they got up from their feet. And Anthony Taylor gives the free kick to Chelsea, taken to the left by Rudiger to Alonso. Looks to go down the line, has to turn back and give it back to Rudiger though. Rudiger, forward ball out to the left to Alonso. He's going to stride forward, make a few more yards. Pass forward to Hudson-Odoi. Launched out of play by Man United for a throw-in. Down the left-hand side for Chelsea. Thrown back in by Alonso. Down the line for Rudiger, back towards their own goal. Square ball across the back line for Silva. Chalobah's been released down the right-hand side now. Goes forward to Reece James. They're 35 yards from goal. Tight to the right-hand touchline. Back to Chalobah. Into the feet of Silva, who's inside his centre circle once again. All players for Manchester United have dropped into their attacking their defensive third. Chelsea's defenders given the freedom of Stamford Bridge. They're playing the ball between themselves. Inside Man United's half, almost teasing the Red Devils. Now on the right-hand side now with Ziyech. Into the feet of Jorginho in a central area. Finds Rudiger. He's approaching the edge of the box. Goes forward to Alonso. Flicked out to the left, where Hudson-Odoi will try and run at wan-bissaka. Hudson-Odoi onto his right foot. Drops it off to Rudiger. Lines up the shot. Rudiger. That's a great effort. It's off the bar. Oh, great strike from Rudiger from distance. It drops to Reece James, but the flag goes up quickly. Rudiger has his hands to his head. David De Gea, well, he seems to have hurt himself in the attempt. It was a lovely strike. Got a lot on it, did the German. It's a good touch as well from David De Gea to flick it up onto the bar off his fingertips. Had to be at his best there. Managed to land on his feet, but in doing so, collided with his right shoulder blade into his post, and he looks to have done himself a bit of a mischief. But Manchester United #1. Wonderful effort there from Rudiger, though. You could see as he drove forward and up to the edge of the box, no Man United player was closing him down, and He thought I might as well strike this, and strike it he did, and some. Lovely, lovely effort. Closest any either side has come. Ball launched forward from De Gea, nodded forward by Chalobah. Ruben Loftus-Cheek's got it in the midfield. He's trying to run away from the tackles. Doesn't manage to. Puts his arms out, thinks one of those should have been a foul. Thiago Silva robs Bruno Fernandes, and Chelsea will break down the left-hand side through Hudson-Odoi. Feeds Timo Werner. Running at the edge of the box. He's got Lindelof challenging him. Strikes at goal. Cannons off Lindelof. Out for a corner kick to Chelsea. 30 minutes on the clock. Chelsea been hammering at the Manchester United door. And they're going to do so again with this corner. Rudiger is going to make himself a presence. It's immediately heading over to David De Gea. He's joining the goalkeeper. Nemanja Matic is trying to help out. Marcos Alonso with the ball into the box. Flicked away by McTominay. Sancho heads it back to Fernandes. Will launch this clear, the Portuguese. Ziyech is underneath it on the halfway line though. It's a forward ball to Chalobah. Right hand inside channel. Now further wide for Timo Werner. Going to look inside for Ziyech. That's a good run into the area on the right hand side. Cuts it back. Right footed cross across the box. All the way to the other side of the area. Hudson-Odoi collects for Chelsea. He's going to run at wan-bissaka. Cuts towards the byline. Left footed strike. Blocked by McTominay once again. Out of play for another Chelsea corner. So, doing ever so well here, Chelsea. Really, really testing. It's going to be another corner kick taken by Marcos Alonso. Swung in towards the penalty spot. Up go the headers. It's over the top of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. It's broke here to Ziyech. Shifted onto his left foot. Out wide to Werner. Werner with the cutback. Diving in toward the header is Loftus-Cheek. He's still on the ground. Man United haven't got it clear. Matic has now, but it's only going to break to Hudson-Odoi. He steers that back toward his own goal. Reece James is the man who receives the pass. Into midfield for Jorginho. Back out to the left-hand side for Hudson-Odoi. Tries the forward ball down the line for Marcos Alonso. Blocked away, though, by Fernandes. That'll be a throw-in for Chelsea. 33 minutes on the clock. Man United hammering. Still an onslaught of blue for Manchester United to have to deal with. And for now, they've kept them out. Shuffled across to Chalobah from Rudiger. Forward ball for James. He's being forced back, though, by Telles. And back to Chalobah. Marcus Rashford is going to sprint forward to try and pressure Mendy. And he does so successfully. The attempted pass out to Rudiger from the goalkeeper is misplaced. Out of play for a throw-in down the right-hand side. Another rare bit of possession inside the Chelsea half for United. wan-bissaka takes. Returned the ball by Sancho. Tries to give it back to McTominay. It's another throw-in though as it's poked out of play by Marcos Alonso. Wan-bissaka throws into Fernandes this time. Will hold the ball, the Portuguese. It's being fought for it by Jorginho though. To run back to his own goal. Does well to poke one across the line to Bailly. Forward ball to Marcus Rashford, who's dropping deep into midfield now. Back to Bailly. He's turned that back to David De Gea. De Gea's clearance has found Marcus Rashford. Reece James with a foot in. Out of play though for a throw into Man United down their left-hand side. 12 yards away from the halfway line. It's going to be ever decreasing though if Alex Telles continues to inch forward. Bruno Fernandes heads back towards his own goal and then back heels it up the line to Alex Telles. That's a dangerous pass from Bruno Fernandes. It's Callum Hudson-Odoi with a strike. It's low towards De Gea's right-hand side, but he pounces on the ball. Bruno Fernandes breaking one of the cardinal sins of defensive play. Never play across your back line when you're under pressure like that. Callum Hudson-Odoi collected the pass. He tried to find himself a bit of space, did so, shifted it onto his right foot. Timo Werner, well, his run really carried defenders into Hudson-Odoi's path and didn't make the strike any easier. And he didn't really catch it in the end, Hudson-Odoi. Easily saved by David De Gea. Shaky moment from the Manchester United captain, at least on the day anyway. Bruno Fernandes wearing that multicoloured rainbow armband here on Premier League Rainbow Laces Day in aid of LGBTQ inclusivity in the game. McTominay on the halfway line for Manchester United. Can't find his way past Jorginho. Has to turn it back to Bailly. He's 30 yards from his own goal. Turns in a circle a couple of times before playing a 12-yard pass across the back line to Lindelof. Forward ball from him to Sancho on the right-hand side. He's surrounded by 3 Chelsea bodies and he's lost out here. Here's Hudson-Odoi down the left-hand side for the Blues. Plays it back to Alonso. He goes to Rudiger. And in turn, that's back to Mendy. Going to take a bit of time now. Clears it long out to the right-hand side. Bit of a bump from Bailly on Ziyech. Looks a bit annoyed from that, does Ziyech, but Man United allowed to continue with the ball at their feet with McTominay being closed down by Jorginho deep in his own half. Chelsea trying to win this ball high up the park. Loftus-Cheek goes careening into Fred. That looks like it'll be a free kick. Referee, yep, blown the whistle. Chelsea have played almost twice as many passes as Manchester United already, and more successfully so. Almost 90% of their passes finding their target, where only 70-odd% of the 120 passes that Man United have tried to play have reached their intended recipient. Ball launched over the top. There's another one that didn't make its way. Nodded forward by Rudiger. Chelsea regain possession. Jorginho prods it back to Silva on the edge of his own box. Out to the left is Alonso. Jadon Sancho then presses Rudiger, then follows it up to the goalkeeper. He clips one long to Werner. That touch is loose. Gives it to Fernandes inside the Chelsea half. Matic goes wide to wan-bissaka. Tries to skip past Werner. Does so. Pokes it through his legs very, very well. Gives it to Sancho, but he's caught napping in possession. And Chelsea will break here with Ziyech down the left-hand side. Ball to Hudson-Odoi. Collides into McTominay. Out of play for a throw-in. Referee Anthony Taylor points one way. So it's a free kick, actually. It was a foul in the build-up to that. He brought it back. And Rudiger takes that short. It's off to the right-hand side now with Chalobah. Forward ball to James. Returns the ball to Chalobah. Back to Loftus, to Silva, rather. Into the feet of Jorginho. Loftus-Cheek then does shuffle that out to Rudiger. It's inside the centre circle. So is Silva inside his own half, though. He's got Rudiger to his left. Tries to find the ball forward to Loftus-Cheek. Does well to turn away from the challenge of Sancho. Here comes Rudiger driving forward. Out to left-hand inside channel for Hudson-Odoi. Collects the ball back from Alonso once again. Hudson-Odoi inside to Rudiger. So 35 yards from goal. Tries to swing it into the box. Werner had made the run forward, though. Bailly can chest down. The touch from Fred is loose. He's under pressure from Chalobah. Has won that very well. Ziyech to the byline. Cuts it back to the 6-yard line. It's cleared away only as far as James, and the effort curling towards the near post is out of play for a goal kick. Once again, Man United played their way into some danger there. They tried to play a triangle in midfield. It was Fred that was robbed by Chalobah in a crossing area. Ziyech made his way to the byline, got the ball from Chalobah. Couldn't find Hudson-Odoi, who had just peeled off to the centre, to the penalty spot. And then Reece James with a follow-up effort, trying to curl it in the near post, just found the side netting. And David De Gea clears with the goal kick long. It's one in the air by Loftus-Cheek, though. So back to Thiago Silva, steps forward, prods it to Jorginho, back to Rudiger, all the way back to Mendy. Rudiger goes out to the left-hand side where Alonso collects the ball, tries to clear it long. wan-bissaka had pressed high and made sure that they couldn't release the ball into the Manchester United half. It'll be a throw into Chelsea on their defensive third. Thrown in by Alonso to Jorginho, gets the ball back. Alonso tried to evade the challenge of Fernandes. Couldn't keep it in play, though. Wan-Bissaka's picked the ball up, and this will be a Man United throw. About 5 yards further forward than the one that Chelsea just took, but they've conspired to lose the ball once again, United. They've picked it up, though, as they tried to play the ball forward to Werner. With Bailly on the left-hand side, on the halfway line. Forward ball to Telles, tight to the touchline. Inside to Fred, back to the fullback. Steers this back to Bailly. Feints to turn back to his goalkeeper. Fred is under pressure, though. Ruben Loftus-Cheek slides in, pokes the ball infield. McTominay picks it up. Forward ball to Fred, tries to clip it over. Here's Sancho, takes it down on his chest. The touch, though, just a little too heavy. Tried to set himself up a shooting opportunity. Mendy was quick off his line. Collects the ball and then bowls it out to Jorginho. Ruben Loftus-Cheek stands still as Fred slips to the ground. Shuffles to one way and then the other. Finds Chalobah. Forward ball from Ziyech. Back to Ziyech from Chalobah. 3 or 4 passes between those pair. That pairing. Back inside to Thiago Silva. Out to the left it's Rudiger. He's slowed the ball down. static at the moment. Heading towards the half-time break, still 0-0 at Stamford Bridge. 4 or so minutes left of the first half. Pass inside from Ziyech to Loftus-Cheek, steered back to Chalobah once again. Looped up from Silva to Jorginho. On the volley out to Chalobah from Jorginho. Forward ball to Ziyech. He's come tracking all the way back to mop up for Chelsea. Back to Thiago Silva. He's striding out towards the left-hand side. Feeds Rudiger. Rudiger beats the challenge of Sancho with ease. Goes inside to Marcos Alonso. Retaining possession here, Chelsea. Very, very well. Jorginho, though, is being harried by Fernandes. Finds a ball out to the left instead. He's turned it back to Silva, has Alonso. Prodded forward by Silva to Jorginho. Heavy challenge from McTominay. Colliding into Jorginho. Rudiger's just bumped into the Scotland international. McTominay's responded by shoving him. Rudiger's not going to have any of that. He's having a couple of words with Scott McTominay. Lovely run, though, for the Manchester United opportunity. Half chance there. It's a lovely goalkeeping as well, though, to match the run of Jadon Sancho. Jorginho will take the free kick. So whipped across the midfield to Reece James, out wide to Ziyech. He turns away from Telles, fires it down the line for James. Collected the ball, has the England fullback. Being tackled by Bailly and Alex Telles. Keeps it in play, does James. He's going to fight back and win the ball back once again. Despite the attentions of two Man United players, Reece James won it back, but Man United have poked this away now. Cleared by Telles. In steps Silva to win the ball back for Chelsea. Tries to find Jorginho. Scott McTominay fires it forward for Sancho. Down the left-hand side. Driving is Rashford. He's running at Silva. The back post is Wan-Bissaka. Sancho to the edge of the box. It's Fred. Nips it between the legs of Tony Rudiger. Slapped away. Tony Rudiger came to speak to Fred. He was appealing for a penalty. Went down very, very cheaply. Did Fred. Tony Rudiger had a word with him. And Fred has lashed out. He's slapped Rudiger's hands away at least. And, well, I've got to say, if I was the referee there, I'd be penalising Fred. Not for the dramatic way he tumbled to the ground under no pressure from Rudiger, but the way he responded to Rudiger, telling him to get to his feet. It was rather physical. No need to resort to throwing his hands towards Rudiger regardless of his thoughts of the decision of the referee. Thiago Silva, though, has the ball for Chelsea. He's just going to roll this into the centre circle inside his own half. Out to the left-hand side for Rudiger once again. Ball forward for Jorginho. Turned away from Rashford very, very nicely. Tried to find Marcos Alonso. He goes down under the challenge of Scott McTominay. And that'll be a booking for the Scotland international. He can't believe it. He's stepping in to talk to Anthony Taylor. The ball was played from Jorginho down the line for Alonso to run onto. Scott McTominay, well, he knew what he was doing. Had one hand on the shoulder of Marcos Alonso. Pulled him back and, well, professional foul, yellow card. Tends to be the way things go in the Premier League. And there will be a free kick around 40 yards from goal from the left-hand side. Level with the far side of the penalty area. Plenty of options in the box for, looks like, Marcos Alonso to try and hit. Michael Carrick is frantically trying to get the instructions across to his team. Will be Reece James to clip it into the box. It's up towards the 6-yard line, dropping behind. Almost curled in. Bounced off the deck. David De Gea went flying across to his far post and just tips it round. Not sure if it was actually going to dribble in the end, but didn't want to take the risk, the Spanish goalkeeper. Did ever so well. Lovely characteristic save from David De Gea. Marcos Alonso will take the corner kick in towards the near post. Won by Chalobah. Nodded up and onto the roof of the net. And that's the last action of the first half. A tight one. It's, well, as far as the scoreline suggests, but in terms of attacking and possession, it's been all Chelsea. They've had 68% of the ball, 10 shots and 4 on target. Manchester United really have had nothing going forward. It's half-time at Stamford.
are also available. Do you want to look at stats while you wait? Have a look at our match details where you can find lineups, head-to-heads, and a lot of other interesting information. Flash Score, game-changing numbers.
into the feet of McTominay. Back to Lindelof, across the back line to Bailly. He's taken one touch and then two. Decides to go to his left for Telles. One down the line for Bruno Fernandes. Tries to get control of the ball, but it dribbles off the underside of his boot into the feet of Thiago Silva. It's been shifted across to the left-hand side for Marcos Alonso now. Drops back off to Rudiger. Well, Silva will slow it down. Fernandes just cursory step forward to put him under a little bit of pressure, but not too much at all. Silva out wide to the right-hand side for Chalobah. Long ball down the line, looking for Ziyech. It's been held off by Eric Bailly, trying to steer this out for a goal kick. Ziyech went sprawling to the ground, managed to keep it in play, and the Bailly cleared long. Chelsea collected the loose ball, but Fred went down under a tackle, and Anthony Taylor blows the whistle. Fred is left clutching his ankle, his right boot. His Achilles tendon. Aaron Ferguson looks on from the bench. He's been helping out with Michael Carrick. Was up for the interim manager job alongside his former colleague. He's just going to be an assistant at the moment, though. So Fred's still on the ground, just receiving a bit of treatment from the... He's back to his feet now, though. No physio's required in the end. He came to the edge of the playing surface, but were quickly waved away. Matic has the ball on the edge of his area. Into McTominay, steers this back to Lindelof. Forward ball intended for Sancho. Loose touch though, allows Chelsea to get the ball back. It's Ziyech on the edge of the area. Poked forward for Werner. Werner in the box. Werner strikes, blocked away by Lindelof. Marcus Rashford's underneath the loose ball. Ruben Loftus-Cheek collects it for Chelsea. Sliding tackle from Rashford on Chalobah. That's going to be a yellow card for the number 10 for Man United. Chalobah caught very high on the calf. Marcus Rashford desperately trying to retain possession for Manchester United. Didn't get anywhere near the ball. Real scissor action. He chopped down on the ankles of Trevor Chalobah. And Rashford receives a yellow card for his poor challenge there. It'll be a free kick on the right-hand corner of the Manchester United box. Reece James and Marcos Alonso are standing over it, ready to be fired into the box. More Chelsea attacking intent on show early in this second half. Discussion, meeting of minds between Alonso and Reece James, discussing how best to take advantage of this opportunity. Could be the right boot of Reece James. Imagine to swing across the 6-yard line, but Alonso looks interested too. Reece James to play the ball in. It's up towards the 6-yard box. It was intended for Loftus-Cheek. Rashford will clear it away. So Fred nods it forward. Long ball from Fernandes. So Jorginho drops off his toe. It's a loose touch. Sancho free, clear alongside Rashford. It's going to be a goal here. Sancho slots it past Mendy. They've nicked it. It's against the gate, the run of play. Jadon Sancho scores for Manchester United. Jorginho, the captain's error. It just bounced off his toe. Set Manchester United on their way. There was nothing Mendy that could do. It was 2-on-1 with the goalkeeper. Chelsea going from attacking, playing the ball into the box from a free kick, to conceding a very, very unlikely goal. And Jadon Sancho was in the build-up. He was nodding the ball on the edge of the box and went sprinting forward. The touch from Jorginho was terrible. Loose. Tried to take it down on his right foot. And, well, there was nothing Jadon Sancho could have done wrong there. He could either have gone square to Marcus Rashford to slot it into an empty net. Mendy was left second-guessing everything. And as Mendy shifts his weight towards Rashford, Sancho just slots it past the outstretched boot of the Chelsea goalkeeper. And there's pandemonium on the benches. The Manchester United crowds too. Gone absolutely crazy. Jadon Sancho opens the scoring in this game. They've had very little of the ball, Manchester United, but they have the lead. That's the most important thing. It's just their first real shot on target, and it's the goal. It's back underway. Reece James plays the ball down the line for Ziyech. He goes down under a clumsy challenge from Eric Bailly. That'll be a free kick. Thomas Tuchel shakes his head, steps out of his technical dugout into his technical area. As a ball clipped into the box for Timo Werner. Well played away by Lindelof. Ziyech will take the throw quickly, looking for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. In steps Fred to cut it away. Telles then clears it long, but Chalobah's underneath it, nods it forward, intended for Ziyech. Fred with a long clearance. Thiago Silva collects for Chelsea, goes across his back line to Rudiger. Chelsea with a bit of work to do now. Manchester United, well, a lot of criticism in the build-up because of Cristiano Ronaldo's absence from the lineup, but Jadon Sancho has proved that they don't need the perennial, one of the best players of all time, to score goals in the Premier League. Sancho's got them underway here. James, ball into the box through the inside right channel. Timo Werner's collected it, tries to cut it back. Lindelof blocks it away. Werner keeps battling with the Swede for the ball. It's dropped off though from Manchester United, looking for the run of Rashford down the left-hand side. Chalobah steps in to make sure. To play for a throw-in. Sloppy play though for Chelsea to concede the goal. So they could do nothing about it. Just watched on. Marcos Alonso despairingly tracked back as he watched Jadon Sancho slot into what was basically an unguarded net. Chelsea with a lot of work to do. They're trying in the second there. Manchester United half, but Rashford's collected the ball for United. Out to the left is Bruno Fernandes. The yellow card for Reece James though. It's a foul from Chelsea's celebrated fullback. It was a pull back on Rashford. Just clipped his heels too as he went steaming through. And Reece James collects a booking. It'll be a free kick a few yards into the Chelsea half for United down the left-hand side. Here's Tuchel trying to get the defensive instructions. Taken quickly by Telles into the feet of Matic. He's going to try and find the ball forward to Rashford. Does so. Chalobah comes to meet him. Ziyech there's for second helpings and double cover. Played all the way back to Fred into the back line of Man United with Lindelof. Out to the right-hand side. Wan-Bissaka's touch is a little loose, but he's managed to keep the ball under control. So got it back from McTominay. Being forced back though towards his own goal. Into the feet of Lindelof from Wan-Bissaka. Long ball down the right-hand inside channel. So steered away by Rudiger, but only into the feet of Jadon Sancho. He's going to try and shift it across. Here's Rashford. Rashford will wait for the runs and wait for the support. Keeps the ball into the feet of Fred. Out to the left-hand side from Fred into the feet of Telles. Sancho's there, 5 yards away from him. Back into Telles. Ball into the box. Nobody's there. Marcos Alonso nods away. Fernandes nods it down for McTominay. He's got Wan-Bissaka for company on his right-hand side. Back to Fernandes though in a central area. Now into Wan-Bissaka. On the right-hand corner of the box, dropped off to McTominay. Now Fernandes in a crossing position, gets the ball in, deflected into the path of Thiago Silva. He lifts that clear out for a throw-in. Midway through the Chelsea half on the right-hand side for Manchester United. A different kettle of fish all of a sudden. We've had around 10 minutes of the second half. Manchester United look far more up for it than they did in the first half. Michael Carrick named a very defensive-looking team. And, well, they did the job. They held firm for the first 45 minutes, and now they lead. Marcos Alonso, though, with possession of the ball down the left for Chelsea. Prods it back to Jorginho. He's going to shuffle that back to the goalkeeper. Comes under quick pressure from Bruno Fernandes. Finds a ball out to Chalobah. One down the line. That's, well, won by Ziyech. Here's Ruben Loftus-Cheek driving at the Chelsea box. Tries to clip it across to Timo Werner. Lindelof stepped in with a header. Crucial one as well from the Swedish centre-half. If he'd missed that, Timo Werner would have been clean through. And just had David De Gea for company. Instead it will be a corner from the right-hand side for Chelsea. Frustration there for Werner. Wanted that ball a little bit later. Marcos Alonso stands over the corner kick. Swung into the near post. Flicked on. So nodded away by McTominay. Rashford tries to keep it in play. So squirms behind though for another corner. Another chance for Marcos Alonso to put his boots on this. And try and put David De Gea and his defence under pressure. Not too many options in the box though. Rudiger's tight to the goalkeeper. In comes the corner. It's on the 6-yard line. David De Gea jumps and punches clear. Ziyech collects the ball. He's lost out to Fred though. Manchester United set off on the counter-attack. Ball across to the left-hand side to Rashford. He's running at Callum Hudson-Odoi. Tries to play the ball across to the right-hand side. It's a lovely bit of vision from the England international to Jadon Sancho, his colleague. It's now Fred in space on the corner of the box. Left-footed strike all the way through. Past the far post. And out for a goal kick. And, well, Marcus Rashford had been a little bit more aware at the back post. Probably could have slotted that in. Once again, Chelsea giving the ball away in a dangerous position. They committed a hell of a lot of players forward. A sea of blue inside the Manchester United half, and, well, the visitors almost capitalised there. Clips down the line from Alonso into the feet of Hudson-Odoi. Tries to find Werner. Werner gets a toe on the ball. So does Bailly. Out for a corner. Bailly with his hands outstretched. So annoyed with that. Thought that it came off Werner last. Referee disagrees. Chelsea trying to go up a gear now. Trying to get going a bit quicker. And that's probably why Man United almost countered there. It's going to be swung in from Marcos Alonso from the left-hand side. A queue of Chelsea players at the back post. In comes the corner, looking for Silva. Silva gets a head on it. It's going to drop to Werner here. Tries to strike, and it's with the outside of the boots past the far post. Tried to be a bit too clever with that, did Timo Werner. Just trying to swing that back into the far post. Struck it, cut across the ball. He was in acres of space. He had the whole goal to aim at. No players really closing him down. To be fair, though, Eric Bailly went flying through the air to throw himself at the ball. If Timo Werner, though, tries to go for the near post, there's more of a chance that he scores there. As Romelu Lukaku looks on, very interested in this. Could come on to face his former club. This ball is cleared long by David De Gea, collected by Rudiger. Launches this aerially clear. Wan-Bissaka's underneath it with a header forward. Marcos Alonso returns in kind. McTominay picks it up in the midfield. Forward pass to Fernandes, back to Fred. Into the feet of McTominay once again. Skips away from the attentions of Chelsea's midfield. Drops it off to Telles inside to Fred. Back to Telles. Tries to find a ball down the line. Blocked away by Chelsea. Manchester United throw on the halfway line down there, left-hand side. Alex Telles has picked it up. Went to throw it back to his back line, but saw Timo Werner was marking Eric Bailly. Just try and cheat a few yards forward. Telles gets the ball back from Fred. Marcus Alonso, Rashford tries to turn away from Chalobah. Chalobah protests his innocence, and Anthony Taylor's blown for the free kick for the foul. Plenty of Man United opinion on this. So Chalobah, well, on the replay, it looked like Chalobah was saying he had a hold of me, not the other way around. And you have to agree with him. Marcus Rashford with a big old grab of Chalobah's thigh as he was backing into him there. And, well, bought the free kick rather than won it, you have to say. So Cristiano Ronaldo's taking his jacket off on the substitutes bench. Might not be long till we see him. Chelsea, Man United try and press on their advantage. Down the line for Werner, though. Werner in space, running at the box. Not much in the area, though, for Chelsea. It's onto the edge where Hakim Ziyech is trying to fashion a shooting opportunity, but a combination of Fred and Fernandes just nicked the ball away from him. And the attacking opportunity evaporates once again. It's cleared down the right-hand side. Sancho was at the intended target. Rudiger stepped across and steers that back to Mendy. Forward pass from the goalkeeper to Thiago Silva. He goes into midfield for Jorginho. Return back to Silva from the Italian. Shifted out to the right-hand side. James is in space. Ziyech is taking the attentions of Telles. Early ball into the box from Reece James, looking for Werner. Lindelof once again was marking the diminutive German. Out of play for another corner for Chelsea. Heading towards the 60th minute now. Half an hour left of the 90. Chelsea want to get 2 goals in this. They've got the opportunity to go clear at the top of the table. They could go 3 points clear of Manchester City if they can turn this around as it stands. Well, it's the corner into the box. It's nodded away by Manchester United. Volleyed by Ziyech on the edge of the area. Man United will try and get this clear. Ball for Rashford to run onto. Being tracked by Hudson-Odoi. Rashford's got him beaten for pace, though. Hudson-Odoi gets back into position. Rashford trying to trick his way past Hudson-Odoi. He's helped out by Chalobah, though. Chelsea have got this clear, but this will be recovered by Alex Telles midway through the Chelsea half down the left-hand side. Bruno Fernandes takes a touch, steers it back to Sancho, who's playing in a more left-back position at the moment. Inside to Matic, back to Sancho now via Rashford. Rashford tries to return the ball to him. Jorginho stepped in, made sure it wouldn't get there. That's a foul from Ziyech on Fernandes, just clipped his heels as he tried to turn away. Cristiano Ronaldo's going through his stretches on the bench, being given his instructions by Michael Carrick. Very shortly coming on. the former Real Madrid striker. And, of course, Juventus man. Just going to have a last-minute intake of fluids. Referee Anthony Taylor's telling them to get a hurry on. The players on the field thought they were going to make the change. It has been taken. It's been taken very poorly, all the way through to the goalkeeper along the deck. Mendy can just run and grab that and roll this out to Rudiger. Rudiger will stride forward. He's going to go square back across the back line to Thiago Silva. Forward ball, switch of play out to the right-hand side for Reece James. It's out to Ziyech this time. Inside to Loftus-Cheek, in acres of space. Loftus-Cheek driving at the edge of the box. Loftus-Cheek looking for space. Loftus-Cheek back outside to Ziyech. Ziyech onto his left foot, gets the ball into the chest of Nemanja Matic. Matic runs away from the box. Loftus-Cheek comes to challenge it. Lifts over the halfway line. Thiago Silva's the only man back there though. Picks it up for Chelsea. Forward into the midfield for Jorginho. Across the centre circle to Antonio Rudiger. He's going to shift this back out to the right-hand side once again. James is popping up in that acres of space plenty of times this evening. Inside to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, tries to find a route back out to James. Man United got the ball away, but sliding in was Loftus-Cheek to regain possession high up the field for Chelsea. Thiago Silva once again with that diagonal out to James. James across the 6-yard box, steered away by Bailly. Intended for Werner. Once again, Man United centre-halves step in. Turn it behind for a Chelsea corner. Another one for Marcos Alonso. Haven't really made the most of these set pieces. This will be their 10th now. United yet to have a single corner in the game. Marcos Alonso takes in towards the 6-yard box. One in the air by Bailly. Drops here for James. Steers it out to Hudson-Odoi. Out to the right-hand side, it's Marcos Alonso. Whips in a left-footed cross. Out to the back post. Timo Werner is there. Nods it back into play, does he? No, can't keep it in. The German didn't anticipate it flying over the top of every single player in that box. With a bit more anticipation, well, Werner could have got there, and Man United will make the change. It's Jadon Sancho that's going to depart, and, well, the man coming on needs very little introduction. It is Cristiano Ronaldo. He'll slot in up front alongside Marcus Rashford as Man United look to turn the screw. Going on for the last 30 minutes or so. Cristiano Ronaldo brings words of encouragement to his teammates. Looks at home in that red shirt of Manchester United, the one that he played for so long in, for so many years before making his move to Real Madrid. Cleared long by Mendy. Loftus-Cheek beats Ronaldo in the air to the ball. So David De Gea with the clearance, rather. It's Matic in the midfield. Lovely back heel from Fernandes to feed Wan-Bissaka down the right-hand side, but the tackle from Alonso matches it in quality. He's gone down tumbling to the dirt, turf. Quite dramatically, referee Anthony Taylor gives the free kick. It's taken quickly. Jorginho plays forward to Hudson-Odoi, who just dropped to the halfway line. Jorginho inches his way over the halfway line. Now Rudiger's going to go driving forward, one of his enterprising runs through the left-hand inside channel. Marcos Alonso keeps it in play. Rudiger thought he'd overhit the pass, but receives the ball back from Alonso. That's a heavy challenge from Scott McTominay. Rudiger just got his body between the ball. McTominay saw the German centre-half tumble to the ground in front of him. Just knocked him off balance, and that'll be a free kick to Chelsea in a dangerous position down the left-hand side. It's about 5 yards in from the touchline, about 10 yards away from the edge of the box. Plenty of options for Reece James to try and hit. Marcos Alonso hasn't even decided to come and ask for the ball. It's going to be Reece James to play this into the box. Cross comes in, nodded on. It's flicked off at Manchester United head, has it? Looked like it came off Cristiano Ronaldo. He appeals for the push. It was intended for Thiago Silva. One in the air by United, out for a corner. Marcos Alonso trots over to take it. Ronaldo inside his box, ready to do his defensive work for United. In comes the corner from Marcos Alonso, flicked on at the near post. It's another corner. Bruno Fernandes appeals, but that's falling on deaf ears for Anthony Taylor. It was an important defensive piece of work by United at the near post. Replay suggests that it did come off Bruno Fernandes, the two Portuguese players for Man United. He and Ronaldo sandwiched Chalobah. In comes the corner from Alonso, looking for Rudiger. Flying header from Bailly. Down to the turf goes Ziyech in the box. It's a penalty. Anthony Taylor has pointed to the penalty spot. Antonio Rudiger's got some words to say about Eric Bailly, but the most important thing is it looks like Anthony Taylor's given a penalty here. He's been surrounded by Manchester United players. They're pleading their innocence. We'll have a look how this occurred. Ball came into the box, bounced off the back of Bailly. It was Thiago Silva in the end. Aaron Wan-Bissaka looked to clear the ball. Only caught the back of Thiago Silva's ankles. That's a stonewall penalty. VAR will check this, but at the end of the day, it's not going to overturn it. I'm absolutely certain of that. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's deep in conversation with Anthony Taylor. Cristiano Ronaldo's there having his say as well. Plenty of opinions being dished towards Taylor. But at the end, it's going to be Jorginho for the opportunity to put Chelsea on level terms with 23 minutes of the game left. Anthony Taylor's still having words with lots of Manchester United players. They're going to have to clear out of the way. Never nice to see when players, not specifically Manchester United, just players in general, surround referees like this, trying to put him under pressure. The decision has been made. VAR, of course, will be checking it. If they have a case to answer, well, that'll be the work of the VAR officials in Stockley Park. Instead, it looks like this won't be overturned. Anthony Taylor is ushering away the players now, leaving Jorginho all on his own next to the ball. He's hobbling away is Thiago Silva. Jorginho's ready to try and fire Chelsea for level pegging. He's staring intently down the barrel of David De Gea's eyes. Just up to the edge of the box, ready to make his run towards the ball. Anthony Taylor reminding David De Gea of his responsibilities on the line. Taylor backs away, whistle to his lips. Penalty's about to be struck. Here's Jorginho, trots up to the ball. Jorginho finishes it off down to the right-hand side. Chelsea are on level terms. David De Gea went across to the left. It's a great penalty from Jorginho. He's missed a couple recently after a virtually impeccable penalty-taking record. The pressure on Aaron Wan-Bissaka will continue to increase from Manchester United fans. He's really not their favourite at the moment. He's given the penalty away there. Chelsea are on level terms, and you've got to say it's deserved too. Thiago Silva's the man who went to ground. Chelsea now have a route back into this game. Fred tries to carry it over the halfway line for United. So picked up by Ziyech. Drops it back to Thiago Silva. Still hobbling around out there. So looks like Chelsea might have to make a change here. Out to Chalobah down the right-hand side. Off to Cheek in the central area. Fired out to the right. It's Ziyech drifting in. Trying to find a crossing opportunity. Out to the right-hand side for James. He's got plenty of time to put the ball in. So tries to cut it back. Fred slides in. Blocks it out for a corner to Chelsea. Crowd has found their voice now. Jorginho waves his arms at the Chelsea crowd. Wants more from them. Marcus Alonso spots the ball up for another corner for Chelsea. In it comes. Swung in towards the near post. Nodded away by Fernandes. Teles gets there, but Ziyech threw his body at the ball. Fires back into the box. It's cleared though by Fernandes once again. Only as far as Silva on the halfway line. Prods it forward for Hudson-Odoi. In a bit of space now. Going to drive down the left-hand side. He's got Werner to his left. Early cross across the edge of the 18-yard box. That was intended for Ziyech. Cut out by Teles. Now out to the right. It's with Nemanja Matic. Manchester United will try and break. Forward ball to Ronaldo. Prodded back towards Matic. Not good enough though. Chelsea step in to retrieve the ball. And now down the left, Timo Werner will run at Lindelof. Tries to cut back inside. The agricultural tackle from Scott McTominay. It's dropped all the way back to Jorginho here. Another clumsy tackle from Scott McTominay. He's protesting his innocence with Jorginho. Jorginho was certain that he was going to win the free kick there. But it will be a throw-in, it looks like. Callum Hudson-Odoi is taking his gloves off. He's ready to play this game. Just going to feel the cold is Hudson-Odoi. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has the ball in his hands. Chelsea's fans up on their feet now, sensing something in the offing here. Their record against Manchester United, well, it's pretty dismal in recent times. Ball has found its way all the way back to Edouard Mendy. Yes, Chelsea, they're winless in their past 7 games against, in the Premier League at least, against Man United. The longest run since the 10-game streak between 38 and 1950. Ball over the top for Ziyech. Werner's running onto it. Keeps it in play, cuts it back. It's Marcos Alonso in the box, trying to find an option. Here's Ruben Loftus-Cheek on the edge. Loftus-Cheek to strike, blocked away. It's back to Jorginho, shuffles it out to the left. Hudson-Odoi to the back post. Reece James will nod this back. Ziyech on the volley, blocked away by Telles. Another corner for Chelsea, surely. Hakim Ziyech with his hands on his head. Wanted to do better there. Chelsea really stepped up another gear here. Free-flowing football, flying forward at Manchester United. No clean sheet for United like their last 4 meetings with this side, with Chelsea. Romelu Lukaku still on the bench, but Michael Carrick has called upon his substitutes now. Looks like it might be Mason Greenwood going to join proceedings for Manchester United. Chelsea have recovered the ball in the midfield through Loftus-Cheek. Out to the right-hand side for Reece James, being pulled around by Telles. Referee allows play to continue. Ball is played down the line, cannons off of Fred, into the face of Michael Carrick, who, very much like his footballing career, doesn't flinch. And there'll be a throw into Chelsea just in front of him. Reece James takes that, throws it into Thiago Silva. Looks to have run off his earlier challenge. Bruno Fernandes has played a late tackle into Reece James. Anthony Taylor, well, not sure whether he's going to penalise him here. Gives the free kick. And Thiago Silva's standing over it. It's around 10 yards from the halfway line. 3 yards in from the touchline. Goes back to Silva from Chalobah. Forward again, and once again back to Silva from Chalobah. He's got the ball at his feet, the Brazilian. Looks over the top, looking for Ziyech. There's a cut out by Telles. Matic picked up the ball. It's down the left-hand side for United. Infield for Fred. He's got lots of space to run into. Ronaldo goes streaking away to his left. Finally does play the ball to Cristiano Ronaldo. He's got Chalobah in front of him. Down the line for Fred. Fred with a cutback. Played away from goal by Thiago Silva. Chelsea turn to the far side of the ground, looking for the assistant referee. Expecting the flag on Fred. Fred's just walked away from the ball now. This will be a corner from the left-hand side for Manchester United. They've got not too many men in the ball. Alex Telles will be the man to play it in, left-footed. Cristiano Ronaldo will, of course, be interested in this. It's in towards the near post. Almost dropped to a United player there. Hudson-Odoi almost got in the way as well of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Eventually cleared by Hudson-Odoi. Out into the Chelsea dugout. It's Jesse Lingard that'll be coming on for Manchester United very shortly. He's getting his final instructions from the coaching staff. Michael Carrick is having a word with Lingard at the moment. Alex Telles has the ball in his hands. Throws into Ronaldo. He loses out to Thiago Silva. Ruben Loftus-Cheek then beats him in the air. Finds a ball forward to Ziyech with his head. Ziyech is trying to pick up his loose touch here, but Matic has recovered it. Lovely back heel for Ronaldo. Fired across to the right-hand side for wan-bissaka. He's going to run at Marcos Alonso now. Inside to Bruno Fernandes. Marcos Alonso gets a foot in. And Rudiger will clean it up for Chelsea. Fires it down the left-hand side. McTominay stepped in for United. He's going to steer this all the way back to De Gea. And takes a touch just inside his 18-yard box. We're playing a 5-yard pass diagonally to his left to Eric Bailly. He steps past the attentions of Timo Werner. Then inside to Matic. Finds Fernandes inside the Chelsea half. Tries to play in Ronaldo. Rudiger stepped in. Chelsea playing with it down the left-hand side. Back to Rudiger from Hudson-Odoi. Inside to Jorginho. Back outside to Rudiger. He's going to carry this over the halfway line. Another enterprising stroll forward this time from Antonio Rudiger. Hudson-Odoi out to Alonso. The cutback was intended for Werner at the front post. Blocked away once again. Chelsea have the ball through Jorginho. Out to the left-hand side. Alonso once again. Now here with Hudson-Odoi. Can he find a ball forward? It's given away by Jorginho. Fernandes was the man in there. That's a late tackle by Bruno Fernandes. Thiago Silva nipped across, nicked it out of play. Looks like Bruno Fernandes will go into the book here. Is shown the yellow card by Anthony Taylor. It was a despairing tackle to deny Chelsea the progress and perhaps try and nick it past Thiago Silva. Silva went tumbling around, rolling on the ground. I think he's got himself back to his feet. So Jesse Lingard is about to join in the game for Manchester United, and it's Marcus Rashford that will head off. It looks to be a change of shape for Manchester United. No longer playing with two up front. Lingard less an out-and-out striker, more of an attacking midfielder. Lingard is on the field, trots onto the field of play. There's also going to be changes for Chelsea. Mason Mount and Christian Pulisic are ready to join in. It's going to be Hudson-Odoi that trots off in place of Mason Mount. And Marcus Alonso for Christian Pulisic. Nice warm round of applause for both men as they make their departure from the game. It's going to be a free kick for Chelsea down their left-hand side, just inside the United half though. Rudiger takes square across the midfield to Loftus-Cheek. Lovely turn away from Fred. Into the feet of Mason Mount, fresh on the field. His first touch is a loose one though, but Chelsea have recovered the ball. Tuchel down the right-hand side. Forward ball from Pulisic. Finds Mason Mount. Pulisic again. So going to try and find his way past by. Can't do so though. Mason Mount and Christian Pulisic combining well. Pulisic back to fitness. Good fillip for Chelsea. He's received the ball from Loftus-Cheek inside to Ziyech. Pokes it through to Werner. Werner with the opportunity. Werner tries to score. Cannons it off Pulisic in the end. It's a drop now for James. James on the volley. Out for a goal kick to Man United. Timo Werner can't believe it. He did strike at goal. Replay here. It cannons off wan-bissaka into the midriff of Christian Pulisic. That was another great chance for Timo Werner that he didn't manage to put away. A lovely block there from wan-bissaka. Goal kick will be taken by David De Gea. Long evades both Matic and Ronaldo. It's in midfield now with Chelsea. Ziyech drops it off to Silva. Shuffles that across the back line. Reece James comes tracking back to help out Rudiger. Gives it back to the German now. Rudiger in his own box. Launches one long forward. Well held on to by Hakim Ziyech. Then steers that back to Reece James. He's poked that away from the attentions of Jesse Lingard. Forward ball down the line once again for Ziyech. Return to Rudiger. Into the centre of defence with Thiago Silva. Back outside to the left-hand side is Rudiger. Now forward to Reece James, who's popped up on the left now with Mason Mount and Pulisic on the right. Forward ball to Mount on the edge of the area, taken down well. Now Pulisic will... It's a Ziyech. Ziyech strikes straight through into David De Gea, who just jump on the ball and drop to his knees. Make sure that's safe for Manchester United. It's a lovely bit of attacking play there from Hakim Ziyech. Got the shot away. He was forced onto his unpreferred right foot. Didn't really get the best connection in the end. So the clearance has been launched long by United. Won by Chelsea, but Mason Mount's lost out on the right-hand side. They've tried to fire this between Fernandes, Ronaldo and down the left. And there's the moment that Chelsea fans have been waiting for. Romelu Lukaku is stripped off and ready to join in. Throw comes in from Pulisic into Silva. Across to the left-hand side of defence for Rudiger. He's going to barnstorm forward. So still going Rudiger. Still going Rudiger. Cross comes McTominay to deny him. Pulisic, it's a Ziyech to the back post. Clips it all the way to Pulisic. Pulisic will run at the defence now. Run at Telles. Cut back across the box. Too high for anyone. Jorginho takes it down. Plays it to Reece James. He hits that on the half volley. But it's a poor connection. And it's out of play for a throw-in. Lovely touch by Pulisic, though, as Ziyech played the ball across the box. Took it down and almost dead on the turf. And there is the big man for Chelsea, Romelu Lukaku, up to the edge of the penalty technical areas. The board has gone up. No surprise to see Timo Werner trotting off. It's been another difficult afternoon for him. And Romelu Lukaku powers his way onto the field. More of a physical presence up front with 8.5 minutes left of the 90 for Chelsea. Can he go one better than Werner? Can he nick the winner for Chelsea? Nodded forward from the goal kick from Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Man United pick up the ball, though, inside their half of the field. So try to find Ronaldo, but Silva was there to launch it forward. So out with Wan-Bissaka down the right-hand side. Tries to fire a ball forward to Lingard. Rudiger steps in, steers it away from Ronaldo. Into the goalkeeper. Chalobah prods it forward. He's lost the ball, though. He was looking for Pulisic. Fernandes has the ball on the edge of the area. Tries to cross it in early, but Pulisic blocked it. Ruben Loftus-Cheek will carry this down the right-hand side towards the halfway line. Played over the half to Mason Mount. Pulisic picks up the loose ball into the feet of Ziyech. Running from deep into the left-hand side now. Reece James will try and get this onto his right foot. Ziyech, though, will go down the outside. So inside, though, into Jorginho. Ruben Loftus-Cheek goes to his right. There's Chalobah up from the back. Out to the right-hand side is Christian Pulisic. Returns the ball to Chalobah. Ruben Loftus-Cheek breaks into the box. They ignore him, though. Chalobah exchanges passes with Pulisic again. Inside to Jorginho. Jorginho points forward. Plays one down the line for Mason Mount. Mount gets the crossing in towards the front post. Once again cleared behind by Eric Bailly. Another corner incoming for Chelsea. Marcus Alonso's headed off, so it'll be Hakim Ziyech that heads across with his left boot to swing this in towards the goalkeeper. Plenty of options, not least Romelu Lukaku from this corner. Antonio Rudiger's there as well. He's not really pressing the goalkeeper like he has been. In comes the corner from Ziyech into the 6-yard line. Ruben Loftus-Cheek with the header. Lifts it over the bar, though. Still knocking on the door, Chelsea. Still desperate to find that winner. Man United seem a bit spent as an attacking force. They've had just 2 shots on goal, United. It flipped off of Loftus-Cheek's shoulder in the end. Didn't connect at all well with it. United, yes, have only struck at goal twice. Chelsea 21 times. They only really found the target 6 times. Loftus-Cheek heads forward from the clearance from De Gea. Prods out to the right-hand side for Pulisic. It's intended for Lukaku down the line. Bailly shepherding him away from the ball. Out of play for a throw into United down there. Left-hand side, it's given to Telles. He'll be throwing this back into play for the visitors. So, down the line from Telles. Headed forward by Chalobah, though. Ziyech prods it through the legs of Matic. Now out to the right-hand side with Pulisic. Goes inside to Mason Mount. Tries to beat the challenge of McTominay. Shifted from Jorginho into the path of Reece James. He's going to try and run around the outside of Wan-Bissaka. Gets the ball into the box. It's all the way to the back post. Over the top of everyone. Romelu Lukaku puts his hands on his face. Can't believe he missed out on that opportunity there. It was a lovely ball. Went to run past Wan-Bissaka, did James. Cut back onto his right foot. Gets a lovely ball into the box. Lukaku over the top of him. Almost dropped at the back post for Hakim Ziyech, but he was just a little bit too late to it. Have to play for another goal kick as we head towards the final 5 minutes of the match. Final 5 minutes of the 90 anyway. There will be some added on by the referees and the officials. De Gea launches long, and once again Loftus-Cheek wins the ball ahead of Ronaldo. Chalobah launches one back into the half. It's going to be pounced on by Lukaku. Steps away from the challenger McTominay. Out to the left-hand side, it's Reece James coming in, drifting in to a central position. Bumped into by Fernandes. Down to the ground goes James. Referee tells James to get back to his feet. Wan-Bissaka has the ball now for United down the right-hand side. James is hunting him and trying to win the ball back for Chelsea. Wan-Bissaka shrugs him off, but in steps Jorginho to win back the ball from Wan-Bissaka. Played that down the line for Ziyech. Prodded back towards Jorginho. Infield for Reece James. Back towards Loftus-Cheek. Striding forward is Thiago Silva. He's joining in the attack now. Forward ball to Mason Mount. In towards the back post for Ronaldo. Headed away by Bailly. Cleared further by Matic taken down by Silva inside the Man United half. Jorginho shuffles it out to the right-hand side for Chalobah. Down the line for Pulisic. He's going to run at Telles here. Inside to Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek still going. Loftus-Cheek appeals for the corner. Gets it from the referee. Eric Bailly came across to pick the ball up from Loftus-Cheek. He shrugged his shoulders. He's going to head back into the middle. Not much time left for Chelsea to try and win themselves this game. It's going to be their 15th corner. They did score indirectly from one as the penalty was conceded as they tried to clear their lines. United. Hakim Ziyech is standing over the ball. Going to swing this in comes the corner towards the back post. David De Gea flaps at it. It's dropped to Lukaku. Can't strike at goal, but it's free now with Jesse Lingard. He's going to run at Reece James. Reece James comes across though very, very cleverly. Picks the ball up and then plays that all the way back to Mendy. Mendy wants someone to go short for him. He has that in. Jorginho. He's giving the ball back to the goalkeeper. That's given away by Mendy. Here's Fred on the edge of the area. Fred with a clipped ball. Oh, that's a poor decision. He had options inside. And Jesse Lingard and Cristiano Ronaldo elected to try and strike from distance, Fred. And that was a terrible, terrible decision with just one Chelsea defender back. Trying to lift it over the goalkeeper. And Mendy just caught it. And Chelsea are back on the attack down the left-hand side. Here's Jorginho. Edge of the area. Back out to the left to Reece James. Goes to a central position where Ruben Loftus-Cheek is lurking. Back to Rudiger. Out to the left with James once again. Scott McTominay's with him. So plays it against McTominay and up for a throw-in. Mason Mount collects the ball for Reece James. Mendy almost punished there for a poor clearance, but poor decision-making from Fred. Still awaiting the throw-in to be taken. Chelsea are going to take their time, try and get this right. Bruno Fernandes is being ushered off the field of play. He's going to be heading off now. It's another substitution. Donny van der Beek is the man to come on for him. Bruno Fernandes had a word with Anthony Taylor, wasn't pleased with it. Van der Beek on. Remains to be seen with Ralf Rangnick coming in, whether he's not much of a future left at the club. Looks like Fred's got a piece of paper that's been handed to him by Donny van der Beek. Michael Carrick made some scribbles as he sent the attacking midfielder on, and Fred's trying to direct his teammates around him. Not sure who the captain's armband has gone to after Bruno Fernandes' departure. Mason Mount down the right-hand side has won the ball back from Bailly. Mason Mount with a pull back to Lukaku. Lukaku to Ziyech. Ziyech trying to find a shooting opportunity. Cannons against the face of Scott McTominay. Referee has to blow the whistle here. Scott McTominay looks in a daze on the edge of the box. It was a very well struck shot from Hakim Ziyech. Caught Scott McTominay flush on the side of the face. Important block by the Scotsman. And he'll have to receive a little bit of treatment here. It's never fun being struck in the face like that, regardless of whether it's for a ball or a boot. Looks like Chelsea's winless run, though, might go on if they can't find a goal in the closing stages. They'll make it 8 games against United without a win. And, well, Michael Carrick might have just pulled off a great result. They led for quite some time. Chelsea have struck back from the spot through Jorginho, who made amends for his error. Allowed Jadon Sancho to steam through uncontested and stop the pull past Benjamin. Edouard Mendy, apologies. And, well, just allowing Scott McTominay to have a bit of treatment. We're into the extra time. Thomas Tuchel is not happy with the amount that's been added on. 5 minutes. He's probably concerned about it because of the fact that time is ebbing away here and whether that's been added on or not. The fourth official stepped in to explain to him that anything that happens here will be added on to additional to the 5 minutes of time. McTominay's finally back to his feet. Really took a lot out of him, that blow to the face. Being checked out by the physio team. They're just having a look at his jaw and his teeth. Last couple of moments, he's still being looked at by the physio team. They're just going to walk him off the field of play now. Has to be ushered back on by the referee, of course, but let's hope they brush the grass off his eyebrows first. He's looks a little bit worse for wear. Michael Carrick is chatting with the physios at the moment, just seeing if Scott McTominay will be okay to continue. Jorginho's got the ball in his hand. He's going to give this back to Anthony Taylor. Be a drop ball to Michael Carrick's the 14th different manager to face Chelsea in their first Premier League game in charge. Duncan Ferguson is one of the only ones, and Cristiano Ronaldo has been given a yellow card by Anthony Taylor. He was arguing with Taylor about who gets the ball back. Bit of a sarcastic clapping as well there from Cristiano Ronaldo, and I've seen it given that after a yellow card, often if you sarcastically clap, the referee will give you a second. Obviously not if you're Cristiano Ronaldo though. That's only reserved for people like Wilfried Zaha. Ball is played back to Silva. He's trying to fire it forward to Pulisic. Goes inside to Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek being fought with by Fred. So won the ball back, Fred. Played forward to Lingard. Ronaldo looks offside. He's going to run onto the ball from Lingard. Driving at the goal now, Ronaldo. Chops inside Thiago Silva. All the hands go up from the Chelsea back line now. Thomas Tuchel is apoplectic. He's absolutely certain that Cristiano Ronaldo was miles offside. He's screaming, throwing his hands up. And we'll have a look here. It's very, very offside. He's a good step or so. Good yard offside. Allowed to just continue. And, well, referee allowed play to continue there. If the resulting corner is put in by Manchester United, I can imagine we'll see very similar scenes from the Chelsea bench. This goes in. 2 minutes of added time, but of course a minute and a half of that was eaten up by Scott McTominay receiving treatment. Thomas Tuchel is being spoken to by Anthony Taylor. He's come to the technical area to speak to Thomas Tuchel. Tuchel's making his point. He's going to go into the book too. Thomas Tuchel receives a yellow card from Anthony Taylor. But every sympathy though for the Chelsea manager. Ronaldo was miles offside. And, well, Wan-Bissaka's finding that very funny. He's chuckling away at the anger being displayed by the Chelsea coaching team. Chelsea have to defend a corner here, taken by Alex Telles, in towards the 6-yard box. Up goes the header, almost dropped for Cristiano Ronaldo there. But imagine the scenes we would have seen if he put that in. Back out to Telles, ball whipped into the box. One in the air by Thiago Silva. He's going to drop behind for another corner, is it? No. Kept in play by Ziyech, out of play for a throw-in though. Alex Telles will take this. Level with the edge of the 18-yard box. He's trying to get players to come over and show for him. Donny van der Beek points towards the corner flag. It's thrown into Jesse Lingard. Poor touch though from Lingard, allows Chalobah to win the ball. Tries to play that away. Fred picks up the loose ball though. Chalobah tries to clear it once again, and it's off Donny van der Beek. He's kept that in play. It's a shove to the ground on Chalobah. That'll be a free kick for Chelsea. Down their right-hand side, level with the edge of their own 18-yard box. Time is ebbing away from Thomas Tuchel's side. Say that's probably around 2 minutes left of this. Anthony Taylor does his job properly and adds on the time, eaten up by McTominay's injury. It's inside to Jorginho. He's going to carry this forward. Back to his right is Thiago Silva. Long ball from Silva looking for Lukaku. Doesn't win it in the air instead of Matic. That's nodded forward by United. Van der Beek is underneath it. Jorginho puts his hands on Van der Beek's shoulders. He goes down immediately and Jorginho goes into the book. It was a very, very soft booking there. Jorginho obviously didn't need to put his hands on Donny van der Beek, but from where I'm sitting, the amount he did wouldn't have inspired the amount of falling to the ground that Van der Beek produced. We're past the 5 minutes, but of course this will go on a little bit longer. Eric Bailly will take the free kick. He's going to be put into the book again by Anthony Taylor. Another booking for United. Time wasting by Eric Bailly there. Free kick is taken out to the right-hand side, intended for Wan-Bissaka. Takes it down in front of Reece James. Shifts it one way, then the other. Reece James battling for it. Lovely skill from Wan-Bissaka to keep it away from him. James has won the ball. It's going to be prodded out of play. Donny van der Beek, though, keeps it in for Man United. Clipped down the left-hand touchline by Reece James. Lukaku's picked this up for Chelsea. He's going to turn and run now. It's a good tackle by Donny van der Beek to win the ball back into McTominay's feet. Ronaldo shifted out to the right-hand side, goes steaming into the box. Jesse Lingard loses out though to Rudiger, poked forward by Rudiger to Reece James. So into Mason Mount, they're going to drive forward now. Pulisic in space down the right-hand side. So got Mason Mount steaming on ahead of him. Goes down under the challenge of Alex Telles, does Pulisic. Surely will be a last opportunity. Here it goes. Free kick taken quickly by Mount. Down the right-hand side for Ziyech. He's going to try and cut back onto his left foot. Ziyech tracking back. It's a pipped reverse pass for Pulisic. Cut back by Pulisic. It's Rudiger at the back post. Free on the volley. Lifts it over the bar. The game. He was totally unmarked. Aaron Wan-Bissaka had been sucked into the centre of the box by Romelu Lukaku. And on the corner of the 6-yard box, he had the chance to volley that into what looked to be an almost totally unguarded net, Rudiger. And he's blazed that high into the stands behind the goal. He can't believe it. He collapsed to the turf in a heap. And when this is cleared by David De Gea, I expect to hear the final whistle. And that was the chance Chelsea were desperate for. Anthony Taylor puts the whistle to his lips. It's the final whistle